You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. We're going to be going over a spicy Brilliant Stars deck profile, and I promise this one's very good. It's a deck that I've recently fallen in love with, and I'm super excited to share this video with you. So that deck is going to be on Whimsicott VSTAR. Whimsicott VSTAR is a deck that I've been playing around with for a while. I've experimented with in Shadow Rider builds, I've experimented with it with Inteleon builds. Wasn't until this past weekend where I saw Cyrus, my pal, play this to a second place finish at the Upper Hand 1K event that I was running. The goal is basically trick win your opponent into oblivion. A lot of decks are playing special energies. The deck plays Crushing Hammers, Path to the Peak, Fan of Waves, heavy disruption build, and use Bibarel to kind of draw cards. How's this deck going to work? Well, we're going to show you in this video. The list is in the comments below, or actually, sorry, the description. Check out the description. I'm going to use other things, but it's in the description. You can copy paste it right into PTCGO, PTCG Live. If you're trying to learn any more about this deck, personally, hit me up on coaching at metafy.gg/@ZachLesage, again in the description, or you can pick up this card at PTCGOstore.com. Use code ZLesage5 to save off on your next order of codes. Lots of great stuff going on in this video, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that noti bell. Let me know in the comments what you want to, if spark a discussion, say hi, whatever you want to do. It does help out the YouTube algorithm. So deck list, strategy, stuff like that, gameplay, more. We'll see how it goes in this video. Let's jump into the deck list. Let's get it. So here you have it, Whimsicott VSTAR. This deck's all about using Trick Wind over and over again, doing 160 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, they can't play any Pokemon tools or special energy cards from their hands. A lot of players are just trying to attach double turbos, choice belts, all that kind of good stuff. And if they did attach any of that beforehand, we could definitely hit them with a Crushing Hammer. It's a flip card, but like whatever, we're just trying to stop their energy attachments, or play Fan of Waves to put at the bottom of their deck. If it's at the bottom of their deck, they can't attach it ever again, or at least that's kind of how we're thinking. There are ways like Mew can get around with Alice's Sparkles, lots of cool things like that. So I think Trick Wind, really cool opportunity like that. When in doubt, I like to go Fluff Ball Star to just get a huge knockout out of nowhere. I think it works out. You could attach another double turbo energy, and then accelerate those energies. You're able to hit for a lot of damage. Fluff Ball Star, basically knocking out a V. I've been able to knock out Arceus V-Stars out of nowhere. Do factor in the minus 20 damage here, and all throughout this, you're also going to be using Path to the Peak and things like Marnie to really disrupt your opponent overall, drawing cards from Bibarel's, Industrial, and Scizors. So between Cyrus playing this list, I have updated a little bit. The idea does seem based from Thomas Harvey as far as I've been told, so shout out to Thomas Harvey for coming up with this concept, and anyone else who created the concept. It's pretty easy going once you get used to it, so we will be jumping into some gameplay. I'm not sure if we're going to get 1 or 2 games, but if you've watched the channel before, we're typically just trying to get a good game out of it, showing you what the real strategy is. If that takes a couple games, we'll play a couple games. If we have one really good games, there's no point in me continuing on. I think it's going to be an awesome one, and let's hope to trick win some matchups. This deck does have a pretty good matchup spread against the current field. Obviously, you're going to lose to things like Gengar or Single Strike, because Houndoom does find a way to get around Trick when it's attaching from the deck. But other decks like Mew, after Alice's Sparkles, and you can just discard those energies or put them back with Fan of Waves, they might not be able to get around too much. So let's see how the gameplay goes. Let's jump into it. Alrighty, so our opponent's going to be calling the coin flip. Let's see what they're deciding to do here. Giving a little bit, and we lost the coin flip. Pretty much I'd like to go first with this deck, just so we can get the energy and then turn 2 attack with Trick Win. But we'll see what our opponent decides to do overall here. We could always just take their energy if they go first, discard with Crushing Hammer, play Fan of Waves. You can see we already have some of those cards, and starting with Bidoof is not bad. I mean, who doesn't love starting with Bidoof? So our hand, I'm feeling okay with it. We could go Fog Crystal CRE out of Whimsicott V and make everything happen, so it gives us that kind of step-by-step. We are going to be playing against some deck that plays Speed Lightning energies, so at least we know that we are going to be able to hit them with the Trick Wind. If this, like, I just can't tell what deck this is overall. If they're accelerating a bunch of energies, we do got to watch out for that. But if it's some kind of Arceus build, then they play Double Turbo and Speed Lightning. We'll have to see, right? It's one of those things where you take it step by step by step. Let's, opponent's just still flipping over here. Yeah, we'll definitely draw a couple more cards. Not bad to get a Path to the Peak out pretty early as well. Can't complain with that. So they're playing some kind of Sobble Lightning deck. Something to consider for sure. Yeah, they're playing Capture Energy. It really makes me wonder. Oh, they're playing Jolteon. Gotcha. Okay, Jolteon might be really good because our Trick Wind will stop them from attaching Elemental Badge and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's go for the Fog Crystal here. Let's go Whimsicott. We do want to check through our deck first a little bit, see what else is going down there. I'm totally cool with this. They probably play a way to get that out of the active spot, so like honestly I'm not like sold on anything yet. I think like if they are getting out another Sobble, they probably have an access to something else. I think I want to play the Marnie just because our hand's not perfect. Do I want to play Crushing Hammer on this? Honestly, I think that they'll be able to get out of the active spot anyways, but in the event that they do need some kind of extra combo, I am just going to go for Crushing Hammer to try to rip that away. So now they just don't have that easy retreat. They now need to get a Scoop Up Net or something, and since their deck plays Path to the Peak and we don't have any abilities, it's a V-Star power that we have here, not an ability, we could definitely just go with Path to the Peak to shut things off. Probably don't play Crobat, but they probably play their own Path to the Peak, and it might clog up their hand a little bit, so let's hope that that's how it plays out. And I am going to go Marnie again. We are searching for like another Bidoof or something else like that, just to get it set up a little bit more. And you can see our hand, we're rolling here. I don't know if it's worthwhile for us to retreat here. I think it might be. I don't want our Whimsicott to catch all the smoke in the active, but at the same time, I don't want us to get hit hard with this Bidoof, especially if we need it. So let's just go ahead, retreat here, and I'm going to go for Fluff Gets in the Way. Not the most efficient attack ever. It's just doing like 20 damage, or effective attack is the word that we're looking for. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can't take any damage from attack. Or sorry, if it's a basic Pokemon, it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. This would stop them from going for some kind of keep calling. Yeah, and I'm fine with Escape Rope if that's what they're going to be going with. If they knock out the Bidoof, that's totally cool too. We already have... Oh, okay, interesting. Maybe they don't play Scoop Up Net. Our hand was really good, but we would have probably been able to see some of these cards anyways. Not so good here is what we just drew. So that's something that's going to be incredibly difficult. This deck, if it's going to crash and burn, it's going to crash and burn during the setup. So keep that in mind. Like a hand that just looked really good a second ago can definitely turn into a hand like this. And it does look like if our opponent's going for Elemental Badge, they're likely just going to be going for a knock. Oh, okay. If they're just going Thunder Spear, that's cool too. Let's see. Okay. I'm out here. I was ready to go to another game here quick. We'll have to see how this plays out. Let's go Fog Crystal. We're just going to get another Whimsicott down. I think that sounds like the play. The whole idea is if they can't really attack us, we're going to be chilling. We don't play any Tool Scrapper because they can't really attach anything. So they did get it out beforehand. It wouldn't be bad, but it would be hard for us to search for. We're looking for a Whimsicott V-Star and a double Turbo Energy. That's that meets that requirement for sure. The question is, do we decide to go Ultra Ball and go for something like a Bibarel and get set up a little bit more? I think we do, because we can always attack with Cotton Guard if worst comes to worst. So I'm going to go for Ultra Ball, discarding away this, and I am going to keep the Crushing Hammer. So I'm going to discard those two. It's a little bit unconventional because I feel like we already have all the cards that we're looking for, but you don't want to be leaving yourself with a dead hand. Think about the game, not the single turn. Sometimes you have to be thinking about the turn, but we're thinking about the entirety of the game. And if we got a Whimsicott V-Star, we're chilling. If we do not, then I think we're still chilling. Okay, here we are, always punished. That's fine. We're still able to go for Cotton Guard, right? Cotton Guard will stop us from, like, it's 30 less damage. Our opponent's not doing a lot. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage, so it's just our Whimsicott V. We did miss. They can just get out of Jolteon VMAX and attack us. But our whole thing is, if they have to, like, maybe they'll put down a special energy and we'll get them with a Fan of Waves. Like, we should be able to outlive our opponent's deck. And that's at least the idea for now. We gotta watch out for Quick Shooting. Quick Shooting might be really difficult at some point. And this is not necessarily a matchup that I don't know how well equipped we are for this deck, but we should be okay to run them out of energies at some point and be doing more damage per turn than what their Quick Shooting offers. So they already went for this energy. If we can take that away with our Crushing Hammer, I feel really good about it. I think that'd be amazing for us. And again, they are not getting the knockout, so it is something to consider. Like, they are not getting the knockout. They're likely knocking out Bibarel by putting 20 damage there. But that's also fine for us. Yeah, exactly. So there's the 70 damage. Again, not a lot going on there. But we will be able to hit them pretty hard this upcoming turn. Let's put this there. There's no reason for us not to put this down. And then we're just going to go like this. Yes, let's go. There's the Crushing Hammer heads. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Professor's Research, and we are looking for that Whimsicott V-Star this turn. So now we're able to kind of roll with our different opportunities to rip these Pokemon to shred. I could just go for the double Turbo Energy, knock this Pokemon out of nowhere. I think I'd rather do that for another turn. So let's put this there. Let's see what we can get off our Industrial Incisors. And again, we're hoping our opponent does not have another energy, so let's go ahead and Trick Wind away. This would be a great turn for our opponent to use Cheryl, but we do get the knockout next turn if they do miss this. So that's something to consider, is that we could just knock out through this Jolteon VMAX. I think we're in a pretty okay spot, and they can't attach another Elemental badge. So there's the Inteleon. Do they have another Energy Surge and a Cheryl? Because we're trying to play in like survival mode, right? Like, so far we're doing pretty good. We have the Trick Wind, not really doing too much. We're trying to run them out of these. There's Evolution Incense, and they do have the Cheryl. Okay, so it looks like they might just be going for some quick shooting strategy, getting out their other, okay, they have the other Jolteon VMAX. Now what they might be forgetting is that they cannot attach Elemental badge, so they might only play a couple. Oh, they do have the energy. Our opponent's super sneaky. Come on. So yeah, they will be able to hit us for 100 here, and then the knockout there. So our opponent, excellent so far navigating around our lock. And you'll find sometimes you're just going to be playing Whimsicott, and people will naturally draw a lot better than you ever think they can. That's fine. I think that's legitimately fine. We are going to be able to go like this, and I'm going to play Marnie. We're just going to continuously search for Crushing Hammers and try to take away our opponent's options. I do think we are in a little bit of trouble here. Let's go like this. It doesn't really matter if we do get out another Bidoof. So let's just get out another Bidoof. There's no reason not to. So we are just going to go ahead and hit this for Trick Wind again. Next turn, we're going to try to bring the whole game back into our favor. Unfortunately, like, our opponent did get quite a good setup and is able to like play around these lightning energies like nothing else, just naturally having them in their hands. But that's why we play cards like Marnie. That's why we play these things. Yeah, their double quick shooting is going to add up a lot. So I think that's eventually, like, we are not going to be able to draw prize cards quick enough. However, we might be able to go Trick Winds, and eventually like knock out this, and then knock this out with a Fluff Ball Star. That's the game plan. The Bidoof actually does nothing for them when it comes to the prize card trades, because these are worth 2 prize cards each. The Bidoof is literally just to prevent our other Pokemon from getting attacked. It looks like this is going to survive. Yeah, this actually played out way better than we could have ever asked for, because our opponent's down to 1 prize card now. Didn't attach another energy. So we should be able to hit this and then hit this again, and we should be golden for the rest of the game. At least that's our game plan right now. Let's go Marnie, and I know they didn't have any energies in their hand, but I'm just trying to fulfill a better hand, if that makes sense. There's another thing, so we're going to have a little bit more HP to play around with. Let's see if we can rip the energy. Rip, did not get it. How many energies do we have there? 1, 2. Yeah, I'm gonna go like this and just try to prepare myself for the Fluff Ball Star the following turn if we can. Or not necessarily like it's preparing ourselves for the Fluff Ball turn. It's really like we need to knock out this, and then we need to snipe this with Jolteon VMAX. So hopefully our opponent is just gonna go ahead and 20-20 attack, and that we're good to go. You can see that the damage output is not necessarily working in our favor. Like, we're 3-shotting the Jolteon VMAX. Don't necessarily look at that as like some kind of negative. It's like okay. It's definitely one of those things where we're okay to deal with it. I don't know why our opponent's hitting our active. Interesting. Maybe they're gearing up because they think they have access to 2 more lightning energies the following turn. It's really interesting. I'm not entirely sure what they're going for there. That's okay. If they just hit us for the Max Thunder Rumble, I'm okay with it. Huh. Maybe they're just planning on going for some kind of Max Thunder Rumble attack. Okay. Part of me really just wants to knock this one out. Now, do they just play 2 copies of Cheryl? I think, like, we just keep on going after their Pokemon, and there's a certain point, like, this would be great if we could find a boss's orders. But there's really nothing that we can do. I'm not attaching that yet. I'm just grabbing it out of the deck. So you have a higher chance of drawing into some other things. I'm just going to go Trick Wind. We still have plenty of time left in this game before we're in a dangerous position. So we'll kind of take our free turn. The Fan of Waves isn't necessarily going to help us there. This is where their quick shooting can definitely add up. Oh, and they just have Cheryl. Interesting. Do they have the other energy? They do. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I wasn't expecting for them just to have another Cheryl and another basic energy, especially just naturally searching for it, but there's only so much that we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we won't be able to get the knockout. Yeah, we're definitely just gonna lose this game because we don't have enough energies to go Fluff Ball Star. So Fluff Ball Star, we could totally like just hit this. We're gonna be 20 damage short because of the double turbo energy. So we'll give our opponent the well played and jump into another game. There's nothing that we can do if our opponent's gonna be healing and just naturally drawing into all these cards. It is what it is, but well played to our opponent overall. So we're playing on the ladder, and out of everyone, I was able to hit my pal Andre. He was pretty local to me overall. So we're going to see what they're playing. They're actually the one who actually beat this deck in the finals of the event. So we'll have to see how it plays out for them. They're playing some kind of Jolteon deck. We're going to try to beat Jolteon here. It's kind of like our rematch, right? We do have enough ways to search out Pokemon. It's just going to be finding more ways to discard other cards. There's Path to the Peak. Probably not going to hurt us too much. See what we got here. Crushing Hammer. I don't hate Crushing Hammer. Let's go through with our deck first, though. Let's go ahead and search for a Whimsicott. We see that we have other energies there. We do see that there is another Bidoof as well. Let's go with, I think we're going to end up going Quick Ball onto the Raihan here. I think that seems like the much better choice. And we're going to go for a... I don't know if we want to be putting other Pokemon down here, per se. We might be wanting to put down another Bidoof, just in case they miss anything. I'm trying to, like... I think we end up just going with another Bidoof, just in case they miss anything. So let's go like this. Let's go Crushing Hammer. We're going to take that away. There's an energy. And we are going to go for research to see exactly what's going to be going on here. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't even mind getting another Bidoof. Because Andre could easily just go Evolve, Attach, Elemental Badge, Zigzagoon, Knockouts. Is it the worst thing in the world that could happen to us? Probably not. I don't think it hurts that much. I'm going to Quick Ball away this, search for one, and we're just going to go all Bidoofs in. We got the Bidoof gang going on over here. Let's pass, and let's brace for impact. And that's a term that I think is important to note, is you need to be able to understand what your opponent can and will be doing next turn during their turn in order to have a successful turn after that. So I think that Andre's, if we had 2 out, they're going to go after these 2. I mean, I think there's a very real chance that these Pokemon just get eaten up. In a lot of ways, we want this active Bidoof to get knocked out. We don't want to see anything else really happen from it. Oh, we're seeing for the research. We might not see all the things that Andre actually has going on. Does Andre have access to another energy? Okay, they already have access to the Zigzagoon. So they are going after the Bidoofs. That's okay. Will they find the energy and elemental badge? The elemental badge might be hard for them to miss. It might be hard for them to get here. If they miss, okay, they do have the elemental badge. That's okay. The fact, too, that it's the basic energy, I mean, I don't know if I'm okay with that or not. We definitely want to be getting out a Crushing Hammer to be dealing with it. But we will be able to get out another Fog Crystal here. We will be able to get out a few other things. So I'm feeling okay with how the matchup's playing out so far. There's this, and I'm going to go Marnie first. I don't want to put another Pokemon down. Like, I don't want to put down another Whimsicott just for it to get damaged. So let's go ahead and see what this Marnie does for us. We did get the Whimsicott VSTAR. I don't hate that. Definitely step one of what we needed. And I'm just gonna like waste both of these Fog Crystals because we want to draw cards with Bibarel. That's really the big play here. We'll be able to draw into a Crushing Hammer. I mean, certainly one of the cards we're looking for. No, we're gonna give the Grr face and let's just go Trick Wind. So this is where the matchup becomes difficult because, like, if Andre gets down a Jolteon here, they have an opportunity to share all this damage off. I mean, it's very similar to the other match that we actually played here. Will we be able to get here? We started second, so that's one of those things that is going to hurt. Yeah, we just can't easily like knock this one out. So I think we're in a really tough position because this is going to take 100. This is going to take 20 down on the bench. Dual knockouts, and then we just have to deal with whatever else we have going on here. Cool. So there's that. The Evolution Incense for... I don't know what the Evolution Incense is here. What that's going to be for, that seems to me like a wasted opportunity in a lot of ways. Because I don't think there's anything else that we're looking for. Because I have the Marnie in my hand, so it would have been better to have more opportunities to have the Evolution Incense in deck. Oh, the Fan of Waves, that's kind of interesting. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna roll with this. And we're gonna pitch this away. We have to get out another one just in case because they can do some scoop up net kind of stuff. And those are opportunities. They're our last Whimsicotts for the game. Let's go for the Marnie, so let's punish them for grabbing that Evolution Incense out. And we are able to kind of attack through. It's not the greatest attack through, but it is what it is, and it is what we can do. We can go for Fluff Ball Star and go for 160 for the knockout on the active. That might be the play because they don't really have anything else lined up. I think that might be our best opportunity to save us from this game. So I think what we are going to go is Fluff Ball Star, knock this out, draw our 3 prize cards, and hope that we can just knock out those other Pokemon throughout the game. It's really interesting, but it's the least that we can do. And I think that's something that's just like, we're hoping that Andre does not have access to another energy, an elemental badge, especially with no Sobbles put down. I think that's the big thing that we're like waiting for here. So if they just don't get an Evolution Incense or a Research, they probably have nothing. Okay, so they do have access to that. They do have access to that, so they can get some more damage off. Do they have a Professor's Research or Marnie to top off the rest of their hands? That's the big question. The way that they attach their energy tells me they don't, because that's the one that was benched this turn. They'll have to get another one going on. So far, I think what we need to do is start attacking into this Jolteon right away, because there's really not much else that we can do. We're just going to be attacking into this Jolteon. No need to use Fluff Ball Star. We're just accelerating energies where we can. Let's just go Trick Wind and hope that this works out. We got to watch out because they will have access to their Drizzle now. They just got that back. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had access to a Marnie, if they had access to a Research, if they had access to a few things. But this is where our deck is at its weakest, and that's its core. Whether or not we win this game, we played out everything, and we used Fluff Ball Star strategically and Trick Wind to stop our opponent. we don't have any more draw support because Jolteon can and will knock out our Pokemon very quickly. Maybe Manaphy would be great for this matchup. It's something to consider for sure. Oh, is Andre actually gonna get the other energy? Wow. I think this is where we actually lose this game. So that was a very good everything. Finding out with that energy surge and everything else, I don't know if we have enough unless we top deck a double turbo energy, or we could top deck a Raihan. So I believe we have 3 top decks out of 24. We have about a 1 in 8 chance. That is at a 12.5% chance of winning this game. I think that's probably a 12.5% chance of staying in this game is probably the correct way to put it. So there's the Max Thunder Rumble. There's the 100 damage to, oh, I guess there's no 100 damage to the bench. That's okay. We have a little bit more time, but we need to basically continue on with our trick wins. Will we be able to top deck it? We didn't. We're going to give our opponent the well played. We just didn't have it. So they got it. We have no other attacks that we can use. It's going to be like that. Well, that's what we got going on for this video. We didn't necessarily win a game, but that doesn't necessarily mean this deck is bad. It's one of those things where we ran into Jolteon twice, surprisingly, which is really weird. Our variance is like a little bit like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know how to put it, but we were able to effectively use Trick Win and Fluffball Star. We did start second both games, I think both of those games. Otherwise, had we started first, it might have been a little bit different. Just getting off that first Trick Win before our opponent got everything else off. So it is something to consider that this deck can be a little bit coin flip heavy, or if you can get a Crushing Hammer to kind of reverse that opening coin flip, that's one of the ways to deal with it. I think Whimsicott is an incredibly effective deck. When it does work, obviously that's going to make a lot of sense. When it does work, it is going to be effective, but it is more effective than what this video did show in a lot of ways. Obviously, I can't sit here and play thousands of games to cherry pick the best games, but out of all the games that I had, I thought that these games were really interesting to choose for the video, and hopefully you enjoyed watching along. Whimsicott's a deck that I think could definitely see a little bit more success, and I'm actively working on this list on the side, so it's one of those things there. I think it's worthwhile for you to pick them up. Whether you're picking them up online, use PTCGO store code ZLSAJ5 to save 5%, or you can go to atlastcg.com, plug in code ZLSAJ8 to save 8% on your next order. I think those are things that I would watch out for, just because this card does seem like it could spike up. I know that Robin Schulz in their early kind of Brilliant Stars list put Whimsicott pretty high. I think that there's a lot of things that are just, this card has a lot of potential. I don't think it's 100% there yet, but it is very, very, very close to being there. I would watch out for it as well as you prepare for other events. Again, the list is in the description. Copy and paste that right into PTCGO, PTCG Live. And if you do want to get any coaching from me, preparing for EUIC or any online events, or just trying to grow as a player, hit me up at metafy.gg/@ZachLesage, or hit me up in the DMs if you have any questions about it. I'll catch up with everyone later. Enjoy our Brilliant Stars format. Peace out and have a great day. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video and have yourself a great day. Thanks.